All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm alive. I don't know how long I'll be alive, so everybody come say goodbye. Huh? I gotta give my last will and testament. Oh boy. Good morning. Good morning. That's actually, I guess it's good afternoon, and we lost an hour. I was wondering why when I was on the phone with Donna, it seemed like time flew by while we was having fun. It's because we lost the daggone hour. Hey Rosado, how you doing? Ain't that the truth? Brad Marchand is a Florida Panther. Who would have thought it? Let me open up the chat here a little bit so I can see. I am alive is debatable, Vincent. Canada Ball edits and animations. I like that. I am functional. Oh, I can't spin in the chair like that. Holy crap. Hi Sabrina. Feeling better? I'm okay. I can't eat anything. So like it's starting to affect like my brain is not is not functioning all that fantastic. I've still fake news says it's really 11 a.m. No joke about that. Scientists and all we gave up was a ham sandwich. That's about right. It's about right. Um, I mean, we were all when I know Kyle was streaming when it went down, and I thought for sure, at least it'd be like Sordiff in a pick. Like I didn't think for just one pick, like not even like a 2 and a 5 or something, just one pick. But his medical condition might have something to do with that. Hey, Craig, yeah, the no braining, it gets it. I'm so backed up on emails and everything I got to take care of. I'm going to try to get to that today. Vincent, when I went down. Hey, Lance. Yeah, we're. I didn't want to make Kyle work again by himself. So, hey, Miami, I appreciate that. I'll be fine. I would assume that by the end of the week, I'll be my normal self again, which is unfortunate for you all, but I'll get a burst of energy. So I'm sure I'll have. What are we going to complain about now? Greg says Marchand's going to want another cup and probably likes the golf. Wouldn't that be something? What are we going to complain about? I guess we still got Schmidt to complain about if we really wanted to get desperate, right? Like, we're winning all these games. Kachuk's not even in the lineup. Am I the only one that's a little bit like let's say Marchand doesn't come back into the playoffs? Okay. But am I the only one that kind of feels like if we continue to play the way we have, obviously we're going to lose some games. But like if we hit the playoffs just like steamrolling like we are now, am I the only one that's a little bit mildly concerned about, okay, all of a sudden we're going to like change everything and you're going to find spot for Marchand. Obviously, Kachuk comes back. Like, am I the only one that's thinking it could be a little bit of a chemistry disruptor if it takes that long for Marchand to get on the ice? I kind of like what Bennett, Kachuk, and Samoskevich had going, and now with Rodriguez. Yeah, the defense has been lights out. Yeah, scientists, once everyone's healthy, our fourth line will be better than most teams' third. I mean, we're going to have to take some guys off the ice. Like you look at last night's lineup. When Marchand and Kachuk come back, Greer and Nosek, I would assume would be the guys that would be out, right? Yeah, Alechka, this is crazy, right? I was talking with Lucas about exactly that, Alechka, about how it's just like, what a time, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy this time, Panther fans. We all just waited for, can we make the playoffs? And we went from, can we make the playoffs to we're this close to being the Chiefs, really quick, didn't we? Scientist says Lusteranum, Stern, Rodriguez. Like that might actually be a thing. Yeah, Boquist, right, too. So, like, if everybody's healthy, I honestly still feel like Marchand with Lundell and Rodriguez. And then Lusteranum and Sturm, Boquist. That I would at least start the playoffs with Bennett, Kachuk, and Samaskevich, and then leave yourself the opportunity to move them up. Yeah, exactly what Vincent is saying. I suppose Marchand's spot is with Lundell. And no disrespect to Lusteranum, but Lundell does set him up quite often. And if we could have somebody that could put the puck in the back of the net on Lundell's left, and you got Rodriguez on the right, it'd be beautiful. Goat Slayer, no, because he's in the last year of his contract. So once the cup is up, if we wanted to offer him a contract, we could. But I don't know that would necessarily. I mean, I suppose if you wanted to stay for a couple million and you went into next year with the fourth line of Stern, Boquist, and Lusteranum. Roaring says, are Cat fans going to say we suck again when we start intentionally holding back and losing before the playoffs? I don't know that that's going to happen, though, this year, because I assume we want to win the division, right? Like, there's a big difference this year in winning the division, right? The difference in, sorry, I lost my train of thought. The difference in not playing Tampa in that first round, that's a huge thing. Whoever plays Tampa in the first round is in for a fight. So yeah, Vincent, this year first place means a lot. Yeah, it's. I mean, imagine the difference between playing Tampa or Columbus in the first round. Yeah, just don't get hurt. Yeah, Gustav Forsling needs to stop blocking shots, please. Like, we can win 3-1. Let a goal go through, Gustav. It'll be okay. We can win 3-1. Stop blocking shots. That was a little bit concerning yesterday, right? Dude just comes back out, grows a new foot. I mean, I can't imagine the bumps and bruises that guy just goes out there and plays with. RC says, I think it's obvious Tampa is the team to avoid, not because we can't beat them, because they would beat the crap out of us and weaken us for 3 more rounds. Yeah. Let's win the division, play one of those wild card teams, and let Tampa and Toronto sort it out. I do feel like we would beat Tampa, but it's the physicality. It's the physicality of that series, especially in the first round. Tampa is. Don't tell Tampa they can't win again. Tampa is looking at the Eastern Conference, and they figure if they can eliminate us in the first round, they could win. They could win, right? So, no disrespect to Columbus, but everybody already hates us anyway. Oh, what's this around my neck? It's just my that's my jingle. It's my jingles. That's been there for months, though. Ghost Slayer says, who you think has it for the West? They have no faith in Hellebuck getting the Jets through the playoffs. I think Colorado or Dallas has a chip on their shoulder. I got a feeling Vegas. Vegas is just like quietly, just like, I'm not so sure on Edmonton. I know a lot of people still like Edmonton, but Skinner's not been fantastic. Hey, Connor. Yeah, I know. What happened, Jason, with that game last night? Right? That was the opposite of what we would have expected. You would have expected Boston to kind of be depressed, but I guess some of those guys took it personally, right? What Sweeney did, and I don't know if Tampa just thought Boston was going to show up dead or what, but that wasn't what I expected to see. You don't believe in Dallas, Edmonton, Colorado, or Vegas. I mean, it's hard to tell in the West, right? Because there's some good teams out there, and you can't even really judge it by what happened with Florida and Edmonton, because basically, 3-3, and then Game 7 was about as close to a tie as you could get, at least on the scoreboard. So, to me, win the division, get that first, play a wild card team, and then that way you only have to play Tampa or Toronto instead of likely playing Tampa and Toronto. Big difference. Greg says, but Tampa is getting old at the same time, so they know they're getting best up isn't good for them either. They aren't as physical as a few years ago. Right. Yeah, same as us, yeah. And Colorado, yeah, Vincent says Colorado pulled off a retool in the season, yeah. Either there's a decent chance of some kind of rematch there, right? Edmonton, Vegas, Colorado, they'd all be rematches. We got some scores to settle. What'd y'all think of Vanacek last night? Huh? He said, "Hey, Spencer Knight, hold my beer." Not that he played fantastic, but obviously, shutout in your first game, he wanted to show that, he can play too. Hey, Chopper. Yeah, Jason, yeah. Simon says, "Hey, buddy, how do you think we did?" I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with what we gave up, with the exception of you hate to lose Spencer Knight, but at the same point, we was winning with Bob or not. Vanacek is a viable replacement. If RC says, yeah, Vanacek, this is what a great defense looks like. You hate to lose Spencer Knight, right? But when you look at the assets that we got in return as a whole, you get Seth Jones. He's looked fine, right? He looks fine. Hey, thank you, Silva. Thank you, bud. So Jones looks good. And then Stern. And Stern is the guy that, yeah, what Craig is saying. If we could re-sign him and stop that constant rotating of the 4C position, because Stern's only 29 years old, and he hasn't played a ton of hockey. Yeah, Vincent, I want to sign Sturm already. Yeah, give him, I don't know, how much can we afford to pay our bottom center, though, right? Now he's making $2 million now. Will he take $1.5 million? Can we afford to give him $2 million? Maybe because we lost Spencer, we could, but then we added Seth Jones, but then you got to figure out Ekblad and blah, blah, blah. You guys know the whole story. But, I mean, that's why we lost Stenlin and Lombard, because of like $1 million here, $1 million there. But Bennett and Eki first, Sturm later. Bennett, yes. Ekblad just needs to sign whatever piece of paper they put in front of him. That's what he needs to do. He needs to just win another cup, go on his plane, go on his boat, go do whatever he's going to do. And when Zito faxes him a contract, just don't even look at it, Aaron. Just sign the paper and know that you're good to go. That's what he needs to do so that we can sign Sturm. Because if you put Sturm at 4C for a couple of years, 2-3 years, whatever it is, he's still young enough. That stops that whole, we got to find a new fourth line center every year. And he was only making $2. So if he's willing to take $1.5 million, I mean, What's the tax situation in San Jose? Is 1.5 in Florida equal to 2 in San Jose? Would he take 3 years at 1.5 or something like that? Even 2 years? Yeah. The crowd's chanting Vanny last night. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Simon, yeah, the fishing, we're close to the fishing. By the end of this week, as long as I'm feeling better, it's still cold again outside. It was even below freezing a couple nights in a row here. But we're supposed to get like in the mid 60s and even maybe hit 70 on Saturday. So once that happens, the week after, the fish will be out there. And so as long as I'm feeling better, I should be able to get out there and finally go fishing again. Just no dogs. No dogs. Donna couldn't come this weekend because I was sick. So, but by next weekend, I might be able to get Leia to the river. She doesn't know the river. She doesn't know water. We took her to the beach. It was too cold to go in, but she did step like in some of the colder water. So I think she's going to like water. So it'll be interesting to take her to the river and just see how she reacts. Brodeur played over 1,200 games. Jeez. Yeah, Chopper Ekblad needs to sign for $3 million. Jason, Vanacek is one of 4 goalies that has a shutout in their Panther debut, right? I mean, as the game was going on, getting later and later, we all kind of thinking the same things. Like, this would be really cool. But Forsling needs to stop blocking shots. That can't happen. You can't be having remember, E2 blocked that shot, and right? Hold on, Chopper. Look at your I thought I saw it. Yeah, Ekblad needs to sign for $3 million. Oh, okay. Yeah, Sturm and Jones both had quality chances. Yeah. Jones looks pretty good. There's how many more? Let's see. There's another one. Yeah, we have federal tax, but we don't have on. So Ekblad needs to sign for $3 million. Is that the one, or is it previous to that? Previous to that is way up. Oh yeah, no, Vanacek was good. I'm not seeing anything else, Chopper. Yeah, Jones. Yeah, no, he doesn't look like he's playing lazy now, right? A few times he was one coming back. We look in good shape, right? Honestly, you kind of wonder if him and, well, I don't think they'd switch him, but we're in good shape. Just Ekblad, just give Ekblad 8 years at $1 million per. There you go. Solves the problem, right? He blocked me again if he could, right? But overall, when you look at what we gave up, I mean, you lose Giles, but that's kind of why I was hoping maybe you'd want to, if you could re-sign Sturm, that's what Zito's talking about, and you're trading assets away, but replacing them with viable replacements. Certainly, Giles was nowhere near ready to be what Sturm is right now. Did you see those face-offs last night? He just kept pounding it and pounding it. It is beautiful. What a difference. What a difference. And then when we get healthy and we've got guys down there, I mean, I know Greer got a goal, but that's going to pay dividends. Vincent says 1 million is too much for Heck. Connor says, so nobody believes in the Capitals, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, because then we play them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I still feel like, well, no, I've kind of been saying that I didn't think that they would make it all the way. For a while, I kind of thought the Canes would take them out. Now I don't know. You look at the Metro, it's a mess. The Devils are kind of done, you would just think, right? The Jackets, right? And then the Canes, Forsling's leg has been the MVP. And then the Canes, you know, how do you make that mistake again? How do you do that again? I saw some, because I'm a member of one of the Hurricanes, Carolina Hurricanes, Facebook groups from some time ago, and I saw some of the conversation, and the poor Canes fans are selling themselves on the whole deal was okay because of Taylor Hall. Yeah, so that's not a good position to be in as a fan group. They're consoling themselves with the fact that, well, they did get Taylor Hall out of the deal. So Simon, I would like, when we start the playoffs, if everybody is going to be on the ice and healthy, Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Tkachuk, Samoskevich, Lundell, Marchand, Rodriguez, Stern, Usterainen, and Bolquist. 50-50, eyes. I can't eat. I can only eat a little bit at a time. So my brain is, I'm functional. My energy level is like up and down and up and down. I'm recovering. It just pain in the ass. Stern was 70% last night. Yes, absolutely, Silva. 100%. I want Samoskevich up there instead of Marchand. Now, I talked to a couple of Bruins fans. I talked to Paul from the locker room. Remember, he's watching Marchand every night. And both of their opinions were Marchand needs less minutes. Both of them agreed that you put Marchand on that third line against that level of competition and with that many minutes a night, and that he would excel. Not that he can't play in the top six, but they both felt like he'd be much better in that third line role. And when you take into consideration, I love the speed that Samoskevich brings to that second line. The chaos of Bennett and Samoskevich's speed together. Yeah, but I'm not saying it's never going to happen, Silva. I'm looking at it from a hockey perspective instead of a fan perspective. I get the fan idea of wanting to do that, but in terms of the hockey and the way that things have been working for us, one spot that we have is we need somebody on the left side of Lundell to put the puck in the back of the net when he sets guys up. That's Lundell's specialty, is setting guys up. And Usterainen can't put the puck in the back of the net. So you put Marchand there with Lundell. I think that evens things out and makes us a better team in the whole. I understand the wanting to put the rats together and all of that, and I'm sure at some point it might happen. But if you go the whole rest of this year with Samoskevich on that second line, I don't think just popping Marchand in there in the last week. I don't like that idea at all. I think you just move Usterainen down. That makes the fourth line better. And you move Marchand into that third line, makes the third line better. If you do it differently, if you put Marchand on the second line and Samoskevich down on the third line, yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I would rather start off with Samoskevich still be on the second line. And then as you get into the playoffs, if a change is needed, then maybe you make that swap. But the way the Boston guys are talking, we may not see Marchand until maybe the last week of the regular season. Low Quality seems to think it was a 3 to 4 week injury is what they had said. So Craig says Marchand, Greer, Sturm, fourth line. I would honestly look at Marchand as a bottom six guy so that when he's on the ice, he can be completely effective at his age, coming off of the injury. That's how I would feel about it in And Communist says, Marchand can come up to the second line if Samuel's not ready enough for the playoffs. Yeah, that's exactly. I would start off with Samoskevich on the second line. And then if playoff hockey, Samuel's not completely ready, then I agree. You swap them out. But I would Samoskevich, I believe at this point has earned the right to at least go out there in the playoffs and show if he's ready. I genuinely believe that. So whether or not that's the way Maurice goes with it or not, I don't know. Yeah, and I says, yeah, we don't have to rush Marchand back either. You wouldn't put me on the fourth line? I get it. I wouldn't put me out there either. Yeah, exactly, Craig. Low minutes, full battery. I mean, we won 6 games in a row. Chucky's not even on the ice. Like we're doing this, we don't even have Tkachuk on the ice. I'm already a little bit nervous about, because that line, let's not lie, okay? I'll be honest with you. I'll be straight. Y'all gonna think this is crazy. Y'all gonna think this is crazy. But that Bennett Rodriguez Samoskevich line is so damn fast and causes so much havoc. Both guys come back for game 1 of the playoffs. Lundell, Tkachuk, Marchand. What about that? The Bennett Rodriguez Samoskevich line is causes so much trouble. You got both guys coming back, haven't played game 1 of the playoffs. Put Tkachuk and Marchand with Lundell and leave the Bennett line alone. Then you're only disrupting the chemistry on one line. Might sound crazy. It'd be crazy. It's going to happen anyway, Silva. It's going to happen anyway, because either way, you're going to put Marchand with Lundell, right? Either way, you're going to be moving somebody away from Lundell. That's already going to happen. I'm just saying, even for like a game, like to just get their blood going again. It's not like Lundell sucks. You know what I mean? I mean, Lundell goes up and down the lineup anyway. Would that even be the second or the third line? Would Lundell, if you did that, if you did Bennett, Rodriguez, and Samoskevich, and then Lundell, Tkachuk, and Marchand, what's the second line? What's the second line? Is there even a second line at that point? Right? Because the speed. I love Tkachuk, but once Rodriguez got with Bennett and Samoskevich, the speed on that line is just crazy. Kami says both. Yeah, right? What a problem to have. What a problem to have, right? It's like we're so stacked right now. Yeah, we don't have a third at that point. Exactly, communist. It's crazy. John says, if possible, can they retain Bennett and Marchand? It would just depend on what Marchand would want. Soflo says, I honestly don't love Marchand. Like, just because he's on our team doesn't mean make my criticisms of him go away. I still think he's undisciplined and takes stupid penalties at the wrong time. Then again, if he's buried on our bottom 6, then it's not too bad. I just thought he was a horrible leader captain. Well, I can appreciate that. I have not paid a close enough attention to the intricacies of his game to disagree or agree with you, especially, this year. Yeah, Silver says our problem is we have 10 top 6 forwards, top 6 players. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It really is. Yeah, something funny is Marchand requested a trade and only waived his no move clause to go to Florida. Yeah. The fact that we didn't have to give up a player. Like, the stream was worried about Samoskevich. Lundell, on Twitter, the rumor was it was going to be Lundell. And I'm like begging, just please, can it just be Sordif and a pick? And it one pick. Ryan says we play a next man up mental hockey. Yeah. No, it's beautiful, man. Enjoy this. Enjoy this, Panther fans, because eventually we will run out of ammunition. Right? Communist says the Lundell rumor. Yeah. Vincent. Chopper says, Jaws, I was worried Marchand would be a Boston plant inside our organization to screw everything up with the Bruins did them so dirty. Now, I saw a rumor. It was a rumor. I don't even remember why I read it. But I thought I saw somewhere where they had offered him a 2-year deal at $3 million per, and he turned it down. Silva says he wasn't willing to waive it to go anywhere else, and sure Zito knew it and took full advantage. And not even a public sub, right? I mean, I thought for sure it'd be a prospect, at least. You figure, all right, we're going to give up Marchand. They just watched Sordith play, right? Okay, Sordith in the third, Sordith in the fourth, something, right? But basically, I mean, it's not nothing. Obviously, it could be another first. Hey, Michael. It was $3 million at 3 years, Eyes? Jeez. Chopper says it's not a rumor, it's true. $3 million at 3 years? And he turned that down? All right, so he's not re-signing with us. Don Sweeney also tried to shift the blame on him. Michael says every time the media tried to start drama between Marchand and either Tkachuk or Bennett, he set them straight and said, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Huh. He wanted to get fair payment like everyone else in the team. Yeah, they retain 50%, but that's nothing off of them right now. So what does he want? Was it term or was it the per year? He's making $6 now. I mean, he's gotta still be worth like a $5 million thing, but I guess that kind of shows you he won't be re-signing with us, right? He won't be re-signing with us. I don't even think we got the money to pay him $3 million. You heard he wanted at least $6 million. Silva says I paid Marchand $3 million for 5 years, $3 million for 5 years. And then you got the Keith Yandel buyout at the end. Wouldn't that be something? If you re-signed the guys that we had now, like you could go into next year with this team. I don't know about that. Yeah, still he's 42. He wanted $6 million. I guess that's what he's making now. That's a bit. We have 11, Michael, but that's but we still got to do Ekblad and Bennett, right? And the other thing is we still got to figure out Vanacek. So like, is he the guy that's coming? Is he the guy that's coming? Is he the permanent replacement? Because we got to pay him too. Would I trade E2 and keep Marchand and Sturm? Right. Yeah. Don't forget Sam Miskevich. Right, Chopper. Yeah. That's a question. Would I trade E2 and keep Marchand and Sturm? Oh, boy, that is a tough question. Oof. That's hard because you're getting older at one position. But obviously, I mean, if Marchand, I put it to you this way, Vincent, if Marchand showed that he could still play at a significant level in the playoffs, and he was going to fit on that third line next to Lundell. Ooh. Pente says Luosterainen is better than Marchand. I mean, defensively, sure. But he's talking about Luosterainen and Sturm. Boy, that's a tough call. Craig says no, keep E2. If it was just E2 Marchand, yes. But when you throw in being able to re-sign Sturm, but you can always get a 4C at the deadline. Let's just sign them both. Let's just sign them both. Just force Aaron Ekblad to take $1 million and sign everybody. That's all. You just force Ekblad to take $1 million and then sign everybody. Not well, you have to be able to re-sign Lusterine and Pente. That's the other part to this. Next year, I believe, is the last year of Lusterinen's deal. So you have to forward think a little bit and feel like, well, are we going to be able to re-sign Lusterinen at all? You have to have that discussion with him and see if you're in the ballpark, right? Now, obviously, if you can, do you want to pay Lusterinen, how much do you want to pay him that much money? How much do you want to pay, right? E2 has 2 more years. All right, that changes it then. Yeah, no. If E2 is moving up, if E2 was moving into his last year of the deal, then you have to have the discussion. But Michael says if you get Ekblad down to 2, we have 15, and that's good enough to keep everyone else and give them a raise. There you go. I like Michael's idea. What we got to do is we got to get E2 to work with a shooting coach. If E2 could just score just a little bit more. Lundell sets him up for some good opportunities. Lundell does set him up. What's that about? Mark my words, the future goalie is Kurilli. Is that a real name? Jerez Muke? Who and what is that? So I guess the answer to the question is no. When I trade E2 to keep Marchand and Sturm, probably not. Not if he's still got 2 years left on his deal, because he's not going to take a ton. I mean, he's not going to bring in a ton of assets. He is important to the team. But I would like to re-sign Sturm. The point really wasn't about so much with Marchand. It's like I'd like to be able to afford to keep Sturm, because 63% in the faceoff circle, give me that. With our talent, give me that on the 4th line every night. I think Marchand and Barkov might have some chemistry. That's an interesting question. Tkachuk and Barkov every once in a while have looked pretty decent. Could Marchand keep up on that top line? I don't know. Another absolutely crazy, ridiculous, absurd idea for those of you who want Bennett with Tkachuk and Marchand is put Samoskevich up top with Barkov and put Verhaeghe with Lundell. Y'all have fun with that one. Yeah, I agree there. It says bringing in Jones with Mikla and putting Kulikov with Schmidt has improved our defense so much more. Doesn't it? You can tell the difference in Schmidt's confidence level, right? He knows Kulikov, he's got it, right? With Kulikov back there, Schmidt knows he can skate around, try to be offensive a little bit, and Cooley's got it covered. It's a good point. Oleshka says, if we thought last year's team was good, boy, oh boy, right? Still got to win. Now we are in that position of, like, I'm not going to sit here and say we expect to win the cup, right? But this group of guys, between the guys that we have on the ice and all of the other teams, especially in the Eastern Conference, this is about as good of an opportunity to win a back-to-back Stanley Cup as this team is ever going to have. When you consider Bob still at this age, and the age of the guys and everything else, and the Eastern Conference kind of having a little bit of, being not quite shambles, but, the hard teams are really over in the West. And that's true. We're not sneaking up on anybody. That's for sure. Florida, man. So if I leave the games where the players park and I said, "What's up to Uvis last night after the win?" Pretty cool. That's cool. Kind of feel, you feel bad for these guys that played a whole year and then they get kind of like roomed off. But that's the game. Tim says E2 and Lunday are a combo. They play matches and complements each other. They are monsters on the third line that can shut down any team's first line. That helps our first line get mid matches. I agree. I totally agree. But somehow it's going to get moved around, right? I mean, do you guys think? I mean, it's crazy, but he's a pro goalie in the Russian league since he was 17. Val. Jason says, Jaws, I agree. Put Marshall in the third line, I think, because he might start with Bennett, though, because of the Four Nations. Do you think that they would consider putting Marchand on the fourth line? I know somebody set it up above, but because you bring up the good point about Lundell and Lusterina being a pair. I hope Sam Miskevich isn't the one that's the odd man out on this, because his confidence level has just gone through the roof recently, because he's getting to play with good players and getting that power play time and everything. I just don't think removing him from the equation is a good idea. When the news broke that we got Marchand, my honest first opinion was why and where. Now, could this be some kind of sign that they really don't know? That's the other thing we haven't talked about. Could this be any kind of a sign that they really aren't sure if/when Chucky's coming back? That is another, consideration there. Oh, yeah, Pente, I completely agree there. Connor says, somehow I think Cooper winning Four Nations will give him confidence and help us regroup for the playoffs. If we were losing the first or second round, though, I don't even know what to do next. I mean, you guys got a tough road, Connor. The Lightning have a tough road. You basically, for all intents and purposes, know you're playing Toronto and Florida in some order. That's a tough first two rounds. Yeah, it just all depends. I want to, it just all depends on extensions and who wants to stay and who wants to go. So you put this link here. I want to, if YouTube said it, if YouTube didn't delete it, you put the link to the goalie. I want to look at it. I can't. Oh, come on. Is it not going to let me copy it? Won't let me. Hold on a second. Will it let me copy the? No, it won't let me do it. Hold on. Val, send me because it won't. I can't manage to copy the link to that goalie's. It won't. YouTube won't let it be live, is what I'm trying to say. Let me go to YouTube because I'm on StreamYard. Just give me a second, guys. I want to look at this goal and paste the link. I got to go to YouTube to do it. So just bear with me. Let's see. Oh, but that comment's not going to come out because that's on YouTube and you're on Twitter. So let me go to Twitter and see if that is there. Let's see. I want to look at this guy. Either that or I'll just research him. It's not there. Okay, let me just see what's his name? Just give me a second, guys. I'll be back to the chat in a second. Okay, so Kirill Jerez Mayuk. Let me get it on my phone. It's like you can't even pretend to remember that name. All right, let's see. That is a hell of a name. Let's see if it comes up. No, Kirill Kaprizov comes up. There he is. Okay, let's see. Now, what team owns his rights? Do we own his rights? How old is he? So why are you saying that he's the guy? Do we own his rights? Do we draft him? Or is he just somebody that you're following and you have a suspicion about? Is this the same guy? No, that can't be the same guy. I see. All right, here we go. All right, so we do own his rights. All right, so I can scroll down to the bottom of the chat now. Okay. 6'2", 178. He's 21. He's playing over in Russia. Boy, he's been a lot. Yeah, okay, thank you, Bob. Yeah, I got it now. Boy, the last few years he's done pretty good. He hasn't played a lot of games. Well, no, he played some games. I mean, his numbers are astronomically good. Like 156 and a 953 and 192 and a 926. I mean, I don't know what goalie numbers over there technically are. But we do have some guys in the pipe. I think that's a good point, though. You know, we do have some guys in the pipeline for sure. Craig, you like Cooper Black? I mean, sure, yeah, he's a big dude, but this guy's not too small. I mean, Cooper Black's 6'8". That's just absurd. That's absurd. I mean, this guy is, I mean, he's 6'2". That's not, hey, he's born on my birthday. I agree with Val. He's born on my birthday. He's the future. That's it. He's born on my birthday. How can you go wrong with the guy? That's it. He's right. Sorry, Cooper Black, you're traded. The dude's born on my birthday. Not same year, obviously. Not the same year. So you know he's an arrogant prick, and you need an arrogant prick in net, right? So there you go. That's perfect. No wonder the guy is so good at what he does. Who would have known? Who would have known? Val says, Marchand and Samoskevich on the second and third line, pushed Rodriguez to the fourth. How can't the Panthers be the best team in the league? It's crazy. How about Nosek on the wing? We did that last night, right? We did it last night. Although I wouldn't mind having Gadjevich out there because, you know, when our guys are off the ice, I notice when Gadjevich is off the ice, guys will take runs at our players on the boards. I wasn't happy with some of the hits last night. Simon says, I think the reason why Bill Zito got him first place was the Panthers had the Four Nations tournament. And he actually talked about that a little bit and said they saw him play in the Four Nations, and he said specifically they felt like he still had some gas in the tank. So iDog says Maurice said Schmidt was playing on his more comfortable side now. That makes sense. I didn't even think about that. But that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he broke somebody's ankles yesterday. I was cracking a joke about it during the stream. He looked good. I mean, he looked good. He did not look slow or clumsy, and so maybe that has a big part of it, him needing to play on his comfortable side. That makes sense, right? Not everybody is an excellent two-way skater that way. You know, I can turn left like a son of a bitch, but ask me to turn right, forget about it. What are you talking about? I can't turn right. I can turn left all day long. Right, you know, So I'm sure that even in the professional level, it does end up making a difference. But Craig, yeah, you're commenting about Cooper Black. I mean, either way, I would assume that um, Black and maybe even this guy, but more Black is one of the reasons why they felt like okay, giving up with Spencer Knight. Was speaking of Spencer Knight, like the dude, he answered the question though, right? And then Chicago got rid of the backup goalie. So like it's unquestionably like Spencer Knight, here you go. You're the franchise goalie. Here's what you've wanted all along. And he has responded. I mean, you kind of have to be happy for the kid because I've talked about it before. You draft him and then you immediately block him. And there wasn't anything he was really going to do to take Bob's job once Bob solidified himself, in the playoffs. And it would be foolish to think that the fact that Knight really kind of knew he didn't have a chance at being the starter, it would be foolish to think that it had nothing to do with his emotional issues. It had to. And that's no judgment on him. You know what I mean? But, you can be drafted. You could be that elite athlete and be drafted by a crappy team like Bedard and just sit there and wallow, right? Or you could be drafted by a team like the Panthers and then like immediately, whoopsies, well, we drafted you, but you're going to have to wait 7 or 8 years for this guy that we just got. That's a tough spot to be in, to know really pretty much no matter how hard you work. With Bob's contract, it wasn't even a realistic, you couldn't even talk to Spencer and be like, hey, if you outplay Bob and you play better, we might. It's like the dude's making $10 million. Spencer Knight would have had to go out there and run a 1.5 and a 950 save percentage to actually really take Bob's job. Greg says Knight's missed, but he and Bedard together can Bedard. Right? Yeah. But, it might work. It might work. I mean, they got a lot of work to do to make themselves a team. But by the time we would have any concerns about Spencer Knight pulling a Jonathan Marchessault or Riley Smith in the Stanley Cup Finals against us, Barkov will be 40, right? Right? By the time we had to worry about that, it's going to be a while before we have to worry about regretting trading Spencer Knight to the Blackhawks. That's at least one good thing. Which, by the way, I have a question before I go, because I'm getting ready to go here soon. I got to eat some lunch. What do you think we were offering Carolina for Rantanen? Because that apparently was a real deal. Like, what were we offering them for Rantanen? And because if we were considering signing him to 12 and a half, somebody was going the other way. What do you think we were offering? You think we were offering them Ekblad, Bennett, Verhaeghe? Maybe Verhaeghe, right? That's the one that makes sense. So it says Greer, Sturm, Nosek looked amazing. Yeah, it's going to look great until Kachuk and Chicken and Marchand comes back, and then both those guys, Greer and Nosek, probably off the ice. Craig says, fly on the wall for that call, right? Tommy says, Verhaeghe plus a first. That's probably about right. Well, when you consider what they ended up getting for him, right? I mean, it would have had to have been a player going back unless we were just going to try to rent him. So it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm glad it didn't work. I'm really glad it didn't work. I was not interested in putzing around like that. I know he says that I see how the Oilers players kept hitting Rantanen really hard last night. No, I didn't see that. Colorado's going to regret that trade, though. Like, they had to know. Like, sometimes I wonder if these guys are obviously they're smart dudes, but you had to know as Colorado's GM that if you traded Rantanen to a team that wasn't going to re-sign him, that team might just flip him back to the Western Conference. And you already know Carolina had problems signing guys before. Like, that could legitimately come back and haunt Colorado in the playoffs. John says, can Zito help us put together players for the Dolphins? Oh, my God, the poor Dolphins. The poor Dolphins. It's like, this is going to sound bad, but like the Dolphins, the feeling I have about the Dolphins at this point is like, and I get a text message from the ex-wife. It's like, oh, geez, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I still got to talk with my ex-wife. That's what the Dolphins feel like. It's like, oh, you guys again? You're still here? Haven't you improved yet? Yeah. Fake news, you think Bennett in picks? Boy, that would have sucked. Craig says, Mackey's a guy like Stankoven, young with tons of upside. Oh, boy, I'm really glad that didn't happen then. Yeah, I'm really glad that didn't happen. I'm sure we had Barkov input on Rantanen. True. It's just you can't. Yeah, Barkov said nobody get paid more than me. That's what Barkov's input was, right? Nobody's getting paid more than I am. Yeah, and a perfect human cloning. We're ordering 2 Azitos, send them to the Marlins and Dolphins a lot. Greer and Bendix in a warehouse for a year. Send their asses to the moon. Send their asses to the moon, man. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get ready to roll. I got to eat some lunch. I'm going to try to eat something. I can eat little bits at a time. That's about what I can do. So, all right. Appreciate all the support. Thank you all for the incredible generosity in the super chats and everything. I know Kyle was telling me about Jake and Amanda, and then Amanda came back, and I know Eyes and a few of you others I haven't checked individually yet. But I know I say thank you a lot, and I know I bitch and complain a lot, but I genuinely mean it. It was as perfectly timed as it possibly could be. We're good now. We got the playoffs, and you guys saw my post. I got some other business things that are happening here soon. So I believe if my guns can sell. Can I say that? I probably can't say that on YouTube. I'm selling some things. I need to sell some things, some bigger items that I have. And then we'll be good to go through the playoffs and everything like that. So, well, I appreciate all the support you guys have sent us while I was gone. And y'all treated Kyle spectacularly. I know he did a 4.5-hour stream the other day by himself. So he's come a long way. I'm really proud of him. All right, everybody. Appreciate it all. Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow noon stream. Members podcast should be back for all you new members. Yeah, I won't sell Kyle. No, Kyle, I definitely will not be selling Kyle. All right, everybody. Peace out.